My client has never, ever been involved in his entire life. He's a sweet man. He's a soft-spoken man. And I am confident that when the time comes, a lot more will come to light that will make sense of the situation. But unfortunately, it will not bring these two people back, and we all grieve with them.
Now, throughout that conversation, Attorney Brian Packett kept saying there is more than what meets the eye in this case. So I asked him, what are we not seeing in those details that are all spelled out in that arrest report? And he said he cannot reveal that to us just yet, as the investigation and the entire legal process are only just beginning.
Inside of a gated community in Wellington, Florida, just west of West Palm Beach and about 65 miles north of Miami, two families' lives were forever shattered on May 4, 2024. Inside of the impressive Black Diamond gated community, almost every single home in the area has a private lake or a nature preserve to view. There are at least 475 single-family homes within the gates, which are also divided into 6 subdevelopments throughout the community. Also behind those gates is plenty of amenities for the families of Black Diamond to enjoy. The gated community is known as a place that is normally safe, quiet, and peaceful. However, a tragedy took place that left 2 people unalive and a community shaken up. 45-year-old Taylor Glenn Jones was a hard-working husband and father of 4. He met the love of his life, 41-year-old Tara Marie Jones, many years ago, and it was said that the two were each other's first dates. The couples will go on to have 4 kids over the span of their marriage, 2 boys and 2 girls, who are all under the age of 14 as of the recording of this video. Taylor worked for Young & Associates for more than 18 years and was also promoted to a partner there, and he specialized in the insurance field. As for his wife, Tara, she was a full-time mom and homemaker who was said to be fiercely devoted to her family and growing a healthy family as well. From the looks of Tara's social media, she truly enjoyed adventures with her husband and kids and taking beautiful professional family photos. By the information I gathered, the Jones family moved to the Black Diamond gated community around the beginning of 2022, so they were still semi-new to the area. The community was originally built from 2003 to 2005, and some residents that have been living there since that time are still there. One of those families that lived in the community for a long period of time was the Scotts family. The Scotts and the Joneses live right next door to each other inside the guarded community, and it appears that one person was not happy about it. 63-year-old Norman Scott, an aircraft mechanic, is known for being a sweet man who is soft-spoken. However, what took place on May 4th left the community in utter shock by what was alleged to have happened. One story would be told to law officers, but multiple cameras told a very different story of what truly happened that day. According to official documents from authorities, video surveillance shows Taylor outside his home removing debris out of the yard and moving his children's bicycles back in front of his home. Video then showed Norman exiting the front door of his home holding a ladder and appeared to motion towards Taylor to come and speak with him. Then the document said Taylor walked towards Norman in a very non-threatening, nonchalant manner. As the 2 men were conversing, at no point during the encounter was Taylor recorded being aggressive, according to detectives. However, investigators said the video shows Norman was clearly upset and appeared to be yelling at Taylor, while both appeared to be looking and pointing towards the basketball hoop that rested between both homes. A short time later, the document said Norman reached into his right side and retrieved a handgun. Taylor began to back away with both hands raised, but Norman continued to follow him while pointing the handgun at him. As Taylor began stumbling backwards, investigators said Norman fired about 3 to 4 shots. While Taylor was falling to the ground and lying on his back, detectives said Norman continued shooting. During this time, Tara was coming out of her home to see what happened with her husband, but she never left her property, according to detectives. While she was standing near the sidewalk, the document said Norman then turned the handgun on Tara and shot her while she was on her property. The video then is said to show Tara retreating backwards as Norman moves towards her with the handgun, according to the official documents. Norman began shooting Tara, and after gunning her down, he turned around and began walking back to his home. Norman would pass by the body of Taylor on his way back to his home, and then he decided to shoot Taylor again 2 additional times while he was still on the ground. A witness who lives nearby told investigators he heard gunshots while inside the home. They came outside and saw both the victims were on the ground shot. That witness told authorities he was attempting to render aid to the victims when Norman exited his residence and stood outside. When asked if he heard anything, Norman replied by saying, "Don't worry, I shot them both." Norman went on to tell the witness that he had gotten into an argument with his neighbor over a basketball hoop and property boundaries, according to the document. Norman ultimately called 911 and told the dispatcher that he had to shoot 2 of his neighbors because they attacked him. However, investigators said Norman had 8 cameras facing the area where the crime happened, and the surveillance camera video contradicted Norman's claim. The video evidence positively established the shooting was completely hostile and unprovoked, according to the official documents. The authorities were able to get Norman's camera footage so quickly because one of his family members told authorities the home surveillance caught the whole thing. Norman was taken into custody and is currently facing 2 charges of first-degree unaliving with a firearm. He is being held at the main Palm Beach County Jail without any bond.
Deputies responded to a 911 call related to a shooting in the Black Diamond community in Wellington around 5:26 p.m. on Saturday, May 4th. After arriving at the address on Galleria Street, deputies report they found the bodies of Tara Jones and Taylor Jones in their front yard. A witness in the report who heard the incident from inside their home came outside to render first aid. Allegedly, the witness asked suspect Norman Scott if he heard anything, at which point Scott replied, "Don't worry, I shot them both."
Norman did appear in court before a judge the next day on a Sunday, and his lawyer described him as a good man who didn't have a history of trouble with the law. He said Norman attended church and worked full-time as a mechanic. The lawyer also said there are 2 people who are deceased. It's extremely tragic. What I can tell you is there's a lot more to this case than what we all know. We are confident and believe that once the truth comes out, there's a lot more that meets the eye. And that's what the lawyer stated. Let me know though, do you believe that this was definitely something else behind the attack? Or do you think Norman just snapped about a basketball goal? Let me know your thoughts. After this casualty, on the ground next to both of the victims' bodies, detectives said they found 9mm expended cartridges. Detectives then found the weapon used in the shooting inside Norman's home laying on a table. A forensic investigator determined that Tara was shot 3 times, once in both legs and once in the upper chest. As for Taylor Jones, he was shot at least 3 times, once in the left eye, once in the back, and once in the upper right leg. During this tragic event, it was said that all 4 minors were at home when their parents were taken from this earth. No telling what they heard or saw, and it's just sad and heartbreaking. No matter what, we don't know. What we do know is 4 kids are without parents due to senseless gun crimes. There has to be a better way. Too many families are being destroyed. My condolences to all the Jones family and extended loved ones in this sad time. So please don't forget to comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in their difficult time, and hit that like button and share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.